It's Man Movie, once again.
Here we are.
I'm so happy to be here with you, Lyle.
I'm happy to be here with you, Chris.
Thank you, Lyle.
Yeah, thanks for having me over to discuss.
Yes, we're going to discuss the movies. Let me put this a little closer. So as you all know, our friend Lyle here has never seen any movies that an adult would watch. I mean, occasionally you'll watch an adult movie, but mostly you're very ignorant.
Specifically an adult male would watch.
Specifically an adult male. So that's the conceit here.
Yeah.
We're showing Lyle man movies. Movies made by and for men. Although they're not always made by men. Point Break, as we recall, was made by a woman. But still, it was about manhood, manliness. Yes. Everything we know about being a man comes from the movies. And technically our fathers.
I'm catching up.
So Lyle's catching up. Tonight, we watched a classic film from 1993 starring Mike Douglas, Robert Duvall, and some lady whose name I don't know. The women in this don't matter.
Oh, yeah. No.
We don't need to worry about their names.
Movies.
They don't really have a voice here.
No.
This is not their space.
No.
They have lots of other spaces.
This is not a safe space for women.
Well, it's mostly safe.
If your girlfriend...
It's just not an entertaining space for women. So this movie starts out on a busy LA freeway during the morning commute. Michael Douglas is trapped in his car and suffers a nervous breakdown. He abandons his car and goes on a journey for pretty much the entire rest of the movie on foot, trying to get home to celebrate his daughter's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
On his way home, he runs into a lot of problems. Pretty much everybody he deals with is giving him a really hard time.
You go now.
Go out.
No fucking trespassing.
Who the fuck are you?
Fuck you, pal, huh?
But this is one day where Michael is just not going to take it.
Yeah.
He's falling down.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm really sorry, too.
Get a gun!
I want to be in a parking lot and buy a ticket, you dumb goddamn bitch!
What kind of vigilante are you?
I am not a vigilante. I am just trying to get home to my little girl's birthday. And if everybody will stay out of my way, then nobody will get hurt.
As Mike is going around the city, he runs into some common problems that a lot of us have. Like, he goes into a fast food restaurant and wants to get breakfast, but he's like 5 minutes past the cutoff. They refuse to make him an egg sandwich, and they want to give him a burger instead. He's like, look, you've got all the stuff right there. You don't have a special grill for the burgers. You put it all in the same place. What's the big deal?
And they act so smiley with him. Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah, they're super patronizing.
Yeah.
And he lets him have it. But he doesn't really commit violence. Do you notice that? At least not in the beginning.
Yeah.
There is, spoiler alert, some violence. But for a long time there, it's sort of like a Walter White type of character. You're kind of with him for a while, and then as he gets further and further along his journey, he does more and more things that are sort of questionable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rolling back prices to 1965. What do you think of that? Donuts. Package of 6, how much?
$1.12.
Oh! Too much.
I think watching the movie, you can identify with a lot of his frustrations. And he's sort of an anti-hero. You're kind of, at least I felt like I was kind of halfway rooting for him and excited when he would freak out. But Robert Duvall is clearly the moral center of the movie.
Look, Buster, while you have been there playing cop, I am at home planning your retirement.
I know that.
It's over. The sooner you get that through your head, the better.
Okay.
You are no longer in the law enforcement business.
Robert Duvall plays a veteran cop who coincidentally is having his last day on the job before retirement. And his wife's calling him on the phone, interrupting him at work when he's spending his last day with his coworkers, and wants him to come home early. It's not enough for her that he is retiring early for her benefit and moving to Lake Havasu, even though he doesn't really want to. That's still not enough for her. She wants him to come home early on his last day. She seems like she's jealous of the fun he has at work and the friends he has, and jealous maybe that he has a fulfilling and meaningful career in life.
Yeah. But never once does he pull out a gun and shoot her or pistol whip her, shoot her in the leg.
And you know, he's probably over the years, he's wanted to so many times, and he's even thought about how he'd get away with it. Because he's a cop, he can come up with a foolproof plan.
He can get away with it.
He's got friends at the force that aren't going to sniff around too
deep. And he's
deep.
got this hot, young piece of work who's eyeing him up.
I'm going to miss you, Prendergast.
Yeah, you really are?
He's got
really
a sort
cute
of a
girl.
work wife situation with a female officer. A nice looking young lady.
She's hot, yeah.
She's she's younger than him anyway. I guess she's
compared to his wife, she's a freaking 10.
Absolutely. And she makes it sort of clear through her friendship and respect of him and through her eyes, the way she looks at him, that anytime he wants to plow through that, he can.
Yeah,
I mean,
that is
on the table.
Yeah, it's very much on the table. That is the vibe that she's given the entire time. I'm like, how is this motherfucker not calling his wife immediately, go, honey, something came up. We need to get a divorce. And then goes and,
and he
dates this girl.
Robert Duvall is cool because he's an actor that we've known for years, and we like Robert Duvall as an actor, as a person. But this cop who looks like Robert Duvall is probably not getting a ton of offers at this point.
No.
So that just goes to show you what a loyal and upstanding gentleman he is.
Yeah.
And, his wife isn't the only problem.
Don't talk like that, Beth. I have to come home. I have to bring her a present.
You know you can't come here.
When we get to know Michael Douglas's wife a little bit more, we find out that he's not even still married to his wife, and he's not allowed in the home. There's been a restraining order. His wife is in the process of divorcing him and doesn't want anything to do with him and does not want him to come home for their daughter's birthday. She says, we've talked about this before. You're not coming home. I don't want you here. I have a restraining order against you. Yada, yada, yada. Gives him a real hard time. He's already having a bad day. I don't know why she feels she needs to pile on, She's sitting at home putting up streamers. He's out there trying to earn a living, having a bad day during a heat wave.
Being kept away from his daughter.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Imagine you have a daughter, most prized possession of your life, and then it's like, you can't come anywhere near her. I mean, he did prove himself to be a crazy son of a bitch by the end of the movie, so maybe that was a good idea.
Well, but then again, we don't know if traffic was what sent him over the edge. I mean, that was the last straw, I guess, but this had been building up for a long time. She could have prepped him all the way to get him to that point of tension, and then any little thing was going to send him over the edge. She got him there, from what I can tell.
Yeah, I think you could say that.
Did he strike the little girl?
Well, no.
Did he strike you?
Not exactly.
Not exactly.
We have a scene of her calling the police, wasting taxpayers' money and time by sending a police officer over to her house because she's scared that her husband might bring a toy home for her daughter's birthday. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. Now, How do we know
Makes
this?
me sick.
Well, the police officer, he's asking her some questions about their history together and why she filed a restraining order. And he asks her very reasonably, well, was he violent with you? No. Did he threaten violence? No. Now he's like, wait a minute, what? This isn't adding up. And she goes, I just kind of felt like maybe he would.
Is that what she said?
Something like that, yeah.
Wow.
So is that really a crime for someone to think you might get violent?
Yeah, you could tell he was taking...
That's kind of like the Minority Report.
Side.
Yeah, he was taking the guy's side.
Yeah.
She's convicting him for a crime he hasn't even committed yet.
Yeah.
Does she think she's Tom Cruise? Based on what we now know with extra information,
yeah,
maybe he wasn't falling down as much as he was pushed.
This is a guy who's you might be able to separate from your typical just, oh, he's that guy's crazy, he should never have a weapon on him. You know what I mean? This seemed like this guy was designing weapons, defense, right?
Yeah, we find out that he got fired from his job. So I guess it's not entirely his wife's fault.
Yeah, it was a building thing.
Just thought of something. It's interesting that around the time she thought maybe he might get violent was the same time the money stopped coming in.
I think that's exactly what's going on here.
Wow. I didn't even see her devious plan.
So that's what we can really learn from this, that everybody except for the hot Latina chick who puts out at work, all the other women sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
were the real villains of the movie.
Robert Duvall, he's getting all these reports, and since he's a good cop, he's starting to put the pieces together and go, a lot of these sound kind of similar. I think this is one guy going around the city causing a bunch of trouble. And he kind of maps it out and figures out, okay, he was here, he was here, he was here. Now he's probably going in this general direction. So, he's kind of, it looks like he's trying to solve, his last big case on the job.
Now let's go meet some nice policemen. They're good guys. Come on, let's go.
I'm the bad guy?
Yeah.
I think that the message here is probably that we're not supposed to love Michael Douglas's character. I know that's what you took out of it, but actually he is the bad guy. What?
Yeah,
he's the bad guy?
I know, I had the same reaction when Michael Douglas said, like, I'm the bad guy?
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, what? You're the bad guy? That's what I thought.
Yeah. And, Robert Duvall, they have sort of a Western showdown moment where he spells that out to him. He goes, what are you doing this for? And he says, because, I was working for the Department of Defense building weapons. They were supposed to congratulate me. They were supposed to honor me for that. And Robert Duvall goes, you're mad because they lied to you? They lied to everybody.
Yeah.
Well, that's life.
Yeah. You can tell he's a very well-adjusted guy. Very, very sort of secure. But also he's had this epiphany throughout the day where he's like, you know what? I'm pretty fucking badass. And I'm going to solve this murder despite my superior dickhead fucking boss telling me you'll do no such thing.
Right, that's right.
Right?
And then at the end, Robert Duvall, spoiler alert, saves the day. He becomes a hero. The press is like interviewing his boss when he walks by, and his boss being a phone. He's like, well, here's the man of the hour right now. And Robert Duvall,
Fuck you, Captain Yardley. Fuck you very much.
Drops the mic, walks off.
Mic.
Later on, right after that, he's saying he's talking to Michael Douglas's daughter and explaining how he's going to be in trouble when he gets home. And she goes, why? Well, because my wife's going to be mad at me when she finds out I'm still a cop. However, after telling his boss to fuck off, I'm not so sure he's going to be welcomed back on the force.
I think it's funny there's not a moment of awkwardness between the daughter and the cop
who just shot her dad.
Like went flying through this fucking wood beam.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think she
falling into the ocean. But like he knows that, like, oh shit, I just killed her fucking dad. And now he's like, hey, little girl, let's just have a completely normal conversation.
Well, again, I don't think they explain this to the 9-year-old girl. I think they said, you know what, Daddy is going to be away selling encyclopedias.
He moved. He left. Where did
Or
he
they'll
go?
He went to
too many
heaven
questions.
doing a good thing. He went to war and he went to heaven. They'll make up some story. They're not going to say, well, remember your birthday last year when we were at the pier? Yeah, like 2 seconds after that, some cop shot him and he fell into the ocean, was eaten by sharks.
Yeah. He drifted out to sea. He never got a proper
99.
burial.
No. Well, we're still seeing pieces of him washing up today.
Yeah.
We found a finger the other day.
Yeah, that's your blood.
That's the beach we hang out and build sandcastles at all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
DNA is all over that sand.
Yeah, that's your daddy. It's messed up. Yeah, this is a messed up movie where the good guy
He does all the right things.
He gets killed.
Yeah. What does he get in the end? A thank you?
No, a bullet. He's a good man.
Yeah.
Robert Duvall killed the wrong man. He should have shot that bitch wife of his in the head.
Well, I couldn't. I don't know how. I'm trying to agree with you more. I just can't.
Yeah. Nothing even needed to be said there.
So we should maybe do some bullet points at some point of what it is that makes a man movie. But we've given some very great examples here. And I think like the Supreme Court said about pornography, when it comes to man movies, I know it when I see it. And Falling Down is a true man movie.
Absolutely. I agree.
Until next time.
Till next time.